a bit later. And here's a big surprise for you to start out Black History Month. Dionne Warwick. We'll hear from her today. She stopped by the other day. We have not aired our interview with her. We did something special with her just the other day, and we will hear that before the end of the show. Join me at the top of the next hour, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC, if you will. Also, still asking for people to give money to Bennett College, our HBCU for women. They need to raise money to keep their accreditation today. Text your donations to the word BELLS, or text the word BELLS, I should say, BELLES, 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 to 444-999, 444-999 to help Bennett College. Joining us now from Ohio, the congressman from the great state, Tim Ryan. Good morning, sir. How are you this morning? How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're hanging in there. We're trying to stay warm.
Yeah, so did you all get some of the polar vortex too?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kids were off for the last 2 days. It's about 15 degrees now, but they're back in school. So
okay.
Yeah.
But there's no climate change, right?
No. Everything's fine, and it's not man-made either. So we're good to go.
A bit of breaking news on your part. That's why we have you here this morning. You have sent an alert to the House Ethics Committee regarding Steve King, haven't you?
I have, yeah. A couple weeks back, so a couple of us, Representative Bobby Rush and myself, we each had resolutions to censure Steve King, who's the congressman from Iowa, who has consistently race baited, made racial statements, talked about how white nationalism is a negative phrase, and on and on and on and on. And so the leadership in the House referred our censure resolutions, to the Ethics Committee. And I told them at the time when they were going to do that should this guy continue this kind of talk and behavior, we're going to hold their feet to the fire to push for the censure resolution. And then Huffington Post had a story saying that he is promoting, what the Southern Law Poverty Center is saying is, racial websites. And so we sent a letter to the Ethics Committee saying, you guys got to pay attention to this, and this may be something that could trigger the censure resolution.
Congressman, as you mentioned Huffington Post, I just want to point that out. He is using government resources to promote this website, vdare.com, correct?
That's correct, right? And VDARE has been distinguished as a white nationalist website and promote all kinds of different, white nationalist figures, all kinds of racist comments, about black people, about brown people. And, and here's the deal. This is a member of the United States Congress. This is somebody who has gone abroad in Austria and given interviews that have basically, as a member of Congress, saying that this is acceptable kind of talk in America. And my pitch here is, I represent Youngstown, Ohio, which is 50% African American and 50% white. Our diversity is our strength. And if we don't have that in our bones from everybody in the United States Congress moving forward, we're not going to be able to unify the country. And he just continues to try to divide us. And a divided country is a weak country. It reduces opportunity for people. And, anybody who's dividing the country is an enemy of the country.
His website, his government website, his congressional website, apparently links directly to this VDARE site. So for those of you who don't know who VDARE is a hate site, according to the Huffington Post, named after Virginia Dare, said to be the first white baby born in the New World. It has routinely featured the writing of eugenicists, anti-Semites, and Nazi sympathizers, including prominent white supremacists Richard Spencer, Kevin McDonald, Sam Francis, and Jared Taylor. So when you say he's using government resources, the congressional your congressional websites are government resources, and that is the resource of his that's linking to this white supremacist website, right?
Right, right. And one of the arguments not to do the censure resolution was that he was making comments to the New York Times and he was making comments to other publications. And there was some concern with going down the road of censoring people for things that they say in public that weren't necessarily on the floor of the House of Representatives or directly related to any kind of government and official business. So that's why I wanted to alert the committee that he is using official money, his official website, to promote this stuff, and hopefully the ethics committee will recognize that and get moving on this.
866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. And then that could lead to follow-up with regard to censure, right? Because the Congress didn't go that far yet.
No, we did a resolution. Congressman Clyburn did a resolution condemning Steve King's comments. The Republicans have acted. They took him off his committees. So he's been reprimanded. But again, I mean, you would think that after that happened a few weeks ago, that he would clean up his website. He would not be providing cover to these kind of groups. I mean, it's hard to believe it's 2019 and we're having these conversations in the United States of America right now. I mean, we know that the president provides cover for others to think this way and to behave this way. The whole idea of the conversation around immigration, his race baiting, whether it's Maxine Waters or LeBron James or whatever, it's almost constant. And NFL football players. I mean, he just goes on. And so of course, members of Congress are going to feel empowered to do that stuff. And again, he's using official business, official documents, official web pages to promote this stuff, and I feel it's unacceptable.
Yeah, that is unacceptable, completely unacceptable. So just on process, Congressman Tim Ryan with us, folks. Just on process, you alert the ethics committee. What happens next?
Well, hopefully the ethics committee will review the website, review his official website that has these links. And my hope would be they would say, look, he's not learned his lesson. He's continuing to promote this stuff, and maybe we should move on the censure resolution. That would be my hope.
Right.
That the ethics committee would do that.
Okay. Is expulsion also something the ethics committee can recommend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could move to expel. It's been done before, and it can be done again. And I hope that the ethics committee acts in a significant way. I think it's important that we take a stand here. We've seen over the government shutdown how Leader Pelosi has really communicated that we are a separate branch of government. Article 1 of the Constitution created the Congress. We are to oversee the executive branch. We're co-equal branches. And so we have the power to reprimand our own members. And if the president wants to go out and do the kind of things that he does, we have the right to push back on that and set a better example. And I hope that we do that.
Lastly, Congressman Ryan, just because you brought her up, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, as one who considered running against Nancy Pelosi, and I think you consulted with others who were thinking the same thing, including one of your colleagues from Ohio, Marcia Fudge. In light of what has happened, and her, as even what you described as her strong position during the shutdown, have her actions, or did her actions surprise you, or did you expect a different reaction from her, or are you pleased now with her leadership and thinking like a lot of other people thinking that she's really a boss?
Yeah, I throughout the whole campaign 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and
Right.
even now, I never once ever questioned her ability or her tenacity, and have been on the other side of that, quite frankly. And she has, I think, upheld to the highest standards the responsibilities of what it means to be a Speaker of the House.
Right. Right.
And I think she has communicated and showed to Donald Trump exactly why she is as tough as she is, and why she has the reputation that she has. So
Okay.
I'm proud of what she's doing, and we'll continue to support her as we move forward here in these struggles with the president, who clearly doesn't understand the responsibilities of Article 1 of the Constitution. And if we go down that road again, I think he's going to learn another hard lesson.
Well, and lastly, let me say something you mentioned, which I think has been most informative and a teachable moment for the entire country. You used to use the term a minute ago, an co-equal branch of government, because the
Hmm.
Republicans have forced America to forget that, and that's real. So, uh,
Well, what happened, Mark, the last really since 2010, when Mitch McConnell said, his job was to make President Obama one-termer. Ever since then, last 8 years, and really now, I mean, to some extent, it's been a hostile relationship with Congress, and there is some historical, relevance there. I mean, this is a country of 330 plus million people trying to govern itself, so there's going to be a lot of conflict. But we've got to figure out how the President of the United States and the Congress of the United States can work together on behalf of the people of the United States. And if we're constantly divided, if we're constantly working on things and finding the things that
right,
we don't agree on,
that's right.
then the American people suffer. That's where we are right now.
All right, Congressman, keep us posted about what may happen in the ethics committee,
Yes,
and we
sir.
hope something, because I think a lot of people are looking at this with great interest, obviously.
I
So,
sure will, and
yeah.
I appreciate you covering it.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank
Take care of
you.
yourself.
All right, take care. Enjoy your weekend now.
You too.
All
Take
right,
care.
take care now. Congressman Tim Ryan, our very special guest, folks. 866 99 Series, 866 997 4748 is the number to call. Joining us now from MediaMatters.org, once again, Christina Lopez. Christina, good morning to you. How are you this morning?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me.
You've written a piece of late, and um, it again. This really speaks to, you've been covering, and Media Matters in general has been covering some of the smears that have been going on against Kamala Harris, haven't you?
That's correct. We've been looking at the entire white field and been monitoring what sort of tactics come out of the fragmented media landscape, specifically far right figures and how they use their online platforms to launch attacks on the early frontrunners. And the issue is that these attacks might become eventually the strategy that all of right wing media uses kind of to go against Democratic candidates seeking the presidency in 2020. So
Right.
it's a good blueprint for now to start looking at the early smears that you see. And so some of them are sadly very predictable and very depressingly predictable, because we know what happens when a woman has the audacity to have the ambition to run for the presidency. And
Right. Right.
usually that is met with sexism. And that's what we're starting to see a lot in the early stages, from looking